One Zambia, one nation. It's a pleasure to be with you on the news desk once more. My name is Alice Banda. Let's take a look at the stories making headline. Zambia and Botswana signed 10 bilateral agreements. Professor Chilengi warns of cholera cases upswing. Monga Water launches water project. Plus, gender division empowers Chipata cooperatives. Zani's news in detail. Zambia and Botswana have signed 10 memoranda of understanding in various sectors of the economy. The MOUs are aimed at providing a common framework for cooperation between the two nations in areas of mutual interest. Details in this report by Kaana.
Zambia and Botswana enjoy close bilateral ties that are founded on shared values of mutual respect, democracy, good governance, and common vision for deepening regional integration. Botswana has also been a key strategic partner and ally to Zambia since the pre-independence era. To cement these relations, Zambia and Botswana have signed 10 key memoranda of understandings aimed at providing a common framework for cooperation between the two nations in areas of mutual interest. Among the 10 MOUs signed include a bilateral agreement establishing the Kazungula Bridge Authority and Addendum No. 2 to sponsor the construction and operations of the bridge infrastructure, an agreement signed by Zambia's Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development Minister Charles Milupi and Botswana's Minister of Transport and Public Works Eric Molale. Other signed MOUs include an agreement on political consultations, an agreement in the areas of health, agriculture and livestock. Also signed include an agreement on cooperation in the field of geoscience, mining, minerals and value chain development, as well as an agreement between Zambia's Zambia Development Agency ZDA and Botswana's Investment and Trade Center. All the MOUs were signed and witnessed by the two presidents, who have all committed towards ensuring that they are actualized.
The relations between Botswana and Zambia are at a level that has never been experienced before. It's our solemn duty to make sure that not only do we keep them at minimum here, but we enhance them so that by the next we meet, we are reporting progress consistent in manner and scope to the way in which we performed in the two working visits, starting with Kasane and today in Livingston. That will be at a date to be announced in the future in Botswana when we have our inaugural binational commission, which is an engagement across all sectors, co-chaired by the heads of state of the two countries.
Once we sign things we're going to sign today, they are not for paper and filing cabinets. They are for active utilization, implementation, which will help us deepen our cooperation. People to people, yes. Business to business, yes. Economy to economy, country to country, and invariably improve the lives of our citizens in Botswana, our citizens in Zambia. That's the story. I think it's a nice story. And we're very delighted, President Masisi, to have you and your team here. And we would like to influence.
Kaana, reporting for Zani's in Livingston.
And Botswanan President Mogwetsi Masisi says his country is inspired with the leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema, leading to an agreement with the country's official creditors for a debt restructuring program. President Masisi says Zambia is blessed to have a visionary president who is showing exemplary leadership in the African region. President Masisi said this in Livingston during the signing ceremony of 10 agreements between Zambia and Botswana. More in the following report.
On the 25th of March, Zambia reached a $3.5 billion agreement with its Eurobond holders, resulting in the country's debt being restructured. Botswana's President Monga Masisi says this is a landmark achievement for Zambia, heaping the praise on President Hakainde Hichilema's visionary leadership.
Just a few days ago, you struck a deal that's changed the whole value proposition of Zambia. But you know, what's important is that it speaks to the ordinary Zambian. It's not about what's in this room. It says to the Zambian child, they have a future. It says to the Zambian child, they have education. They're going to have infrastructure developed. They have healthcare provision. They have security. They have environmental stewardship. They have water. Your Excellency, you have made a remarkable difference. And we wish that this would be unpacked and iterated so that ordinary Zambian understands it. We take it upon ourselves to tell Botswana what you have done for Zambians.
President Hichilema says Zambia should never be allowed to find itself in a situation it got trapped in.
That we, Zambian studies, can pick responsibility to add on to what little things we're doing. So you're growing positive words about us, embarrassing, but we shouldn't have been here. That's the message I'm saying. We shouldn't have been in a dead person. To assure you, because terrible never is not good for anyone. We ourselves have put control measures on ourselves. Once we took office, we've gone to Parliament to promulgate a law that no one, including us today, but in the future, unless they go back to certain debt things, can acquire debt recklessly. Can basically acquire debt which is expensive. Can acquire debt number 3. So 1, recklessly, no. 2, expensive debt, no. 3, acquire debt for consumption expense.
President Hichilema says with Zambia's debt now restructured, resources meant for debt servicing will now go towards social sectors and improving the lives of the Zambian people. Kaana Muchima, reporting for Zanis in Livingstone.
Meanwhile, Minister of Transport and Logistics, Frank Tayali, says the MOUs the country has signed with Botswana will promote bilateral and regional integration, among others. Sunday Walia reports that the minister was speaking in an interview with Zanis on the sidelines of the bilateral meeting held in Livingstone.
In a bid to accelerate bilateral trade between Botswana and Zambia, 10 memoranda of understanding have been signed between the two countries. The move has excited some cabinet ministers. Minister of Transport and Logistics, Frank Tayali, says the MOU will boost bilateral trade between the two countries.
About cooperation in terms of enhancing what we are calling the construction of the Kazungula to Livingstone railway line, as well as Kazungula to Masisi on the Botswana side. So basically, you will appreciate that the design of the Kazungula bridge was already, incorporated a rail section on that particular bridge. It was envisaged that we should be able then to link Livingstone by rail into Kazungula, and also that's like 65 kilometers, Livingstone to Kazungula, and also 365 kilometers from the Kazungula bridge onto a town in Botswana called Masisi. The ultimate goal is really, again, enhancing connectivity. We would like, particularly in the area like the president from Botswana did say, our roads take a lot of stress from heavy goods, particularly trucks.
Of Mines and Minerals Development, Paul Kabuswe, also highlighted the benefits of the MOUs.
benchmark, learn best practices, enhance relationships, learn what our colleagues have done, especially in the mining sector with their diamonds, how it has improved their country, their economy, their welfare. And we want to, replicate that back in Zambia. We want to replicate, and that's why we have signed these MOUs. They are learning something from us. We're also learning something from them. And, we want proper regional integration in terms of, mining activities.
Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry, Chipoka Mulenga, explained what the 10 MOUs entail.
We have signed quite a number of memorandum of understanding. This is coming as a result of the working visit that we have in January with the president in Botswana, and the results we are being seen today. We have got the Kazungula border, which has not been maintained but has been invested in a lot of money between the two countries. So finally, we have set up what we are calling the Kazungula Border Authority. Ministry of Infrastructure, Zambia and Infrastructure, Botswana have come to form up this one and to be managed by a number of sectoral ministries. We have agreed to work together as countries. We've agreed to set up the authority to be built in Botswana, but it will be managed by a Zambian CEO.
President Hakainde Hichilema and his Botswana counterpart, Mogwetsi Masisi, witnessed the signing of the Memoranda of Understanding. For the news, I'm Sunday Warrior in Livingstone.
Minister of Information and Media, Cornelius has expressed concern with the misinformation on different platforms regarding the country's $3.5 billion United States dollar debt restructuring deal. Mr. Mwetwa says the agreement is a great milestone for the country and people deserve to know what is included in the deal and how it will benefit them. Sarah Miti reports that the minister said this in a speech read on his behalf by Minister of Information and Media Permanent Secretary Tabo during the World Vision Media Awards in Lusaka.
The critical role that the media plays in spreading information and creating awareness in communities on issues of various interests cannot go without notice. This is because the media contributes towards raising different opinions, fostering positive change in society, and influencing decision-making as well as policy formulation. World Vision recognizes this role, and as a way of expressing its appreciation, the organization organized a media award ceremony where 14 deserving journalists in 7 categories were awarded for their tremendous work as partners in creating awareness and spreading information on the work of the World Vision in Zambia. Minister of Information and Media Cornelius Mwetwa, who was represented by Permanent Secretary Tabo at the award ceremony, shared government's commitment to creating an enabling environment for the media to thrive.
The government of the Republic of Zambia reached and concluded the debt restructuring with Eurobond holders over the country's $3.5 billion United States dollars it owes. I take this opportunity to call on the media to explain to the people what this means for them and the benefits that accrue from it. Government is committed to creating an environment where media practitioners can thrive, their voices are heard, and their freedoms are protected. I am therefore pleased to announce that our ministry stands in the full support of this endeavor as we recognize the importance of fair and balanced coverage across all spectrums of news beyond just political spheres.
And World Vision Zambia National Director John Hess highlights more on the objectives of the awards.
Today we want to highlight some of those great stories and about the amazing things that are happening here in Zambia in the space of the environment. And so I stand here before you today with a heart full of gratitude and excitement as we come together to celebrate and recognize the unwavering efforts of our friends from the media. And for World Vision Zambia, the media, you are instrumental in amplifying the voices of children and the vulnerable communities that we work with all across our nation. This year's Media Awards themed Empowering Voices, Shaping the Future reflect World Vision's recognition of the media's influential role in shaping society. We at World Vision, we are dedicated to working with media to promote the voices of these children and their stories and their communities in your stories. The media, you are cardinal to World Vision Zambia's strategic goal of contributing to the sustained well-being of 1.5 million children.
Award winners are grateful to the World Vision for recognizing their work.
I'm a nurse by profession, and I'm so glad that I've won today's award. It's not, you don't limit yourself to one thing. So I bet we try different things and get to know what we are good at the moment.
So grateful that World Vision has recognized us, and the majority have been Zanis. Why? Because we serve on the countryside, and it's very difficult on the countryside to serve. But we are there to bring up development. We are there to light. We are there to bring up the voices of the voiceless countryside.
Sarah Miti for Zanis in Lusaka.
Minister of Information and Media Permanent Secretary Tabo Kaana says President Hakainde Hichilema has restored the lost credibility to the country's leadership by steering the country in the right direction. Mr. Kaana says the focus and visionary leadership of President Hichilema is testimony enough that the country will in due course attain economic development. He has cited the many achievements that government has scored so far, such as free education, recruitment of teachers and nurses, procurement of medicines in health facilities, and debt restructuring. Mr. Kaana was speaking in an exclusive interview with Zanis in Lusaka today.
There were people that were saying debt restructuring will never be achieved. Hakainde is wasting his time. He's doing. Where are we today? The mark of leadership, the recognition of the quality of the leader in negotiating, in leading his country, in leading a government that has brought back credibility to its own budget. Because it is one thing to have a budget, and it is also another to have credibility to it. You can have a budget. We know we had regimes here. They had this budget going left, then what they were expending was going right. So you will find that it is in different directions. You have budgeted for Panadol in the hospitals and aspirin and BP medication, but you go and procure 50 firefighter engines. You go and procure tear gas, full. You procure timbira bantu vila vintu. Uchitanga mwenda kumarayoti like, are you going to war with your own citizens?
Special Advisor to the President on Health, Roma Chilengi, says the country remains under the threat of another possible cholera outbreak due to water and sanitation challenges which have not been fully addressed. Speaking in Kitwe when he toured some cholera-affected areas, Professor Chilengi urged health workers to ensure that no life is lost among those seeking help in health facilities.
Cholera is a dangerous disease. It kills very quickly. The message at this point is that while we are at the tail end of the cholera outbreak, current outbreak, seeing numbers here and there, here on the Copper Belt, quite frankly, there's no achievement to celebrate. There's absolutely nothing to celebrate. If anything, we need to be embarrassed and ashamed as a people that the numbers are going down. We have not achieved enough. We are actually just trying to get back to where things are supposed to be. Especially, and I want to say that, especially that the problem of water and sanitation largely remains unaddressed. So we are basically still sitting on a very high risk situation where, you know, the water is still, access to safe water is still very bad, sanitation is still very bad. So there is really nothing to celebrate, because all you need in this current situation is a spark, and then it will explode. That's not where we want to be. We want to be in a place where we know there is public health security. And we know for that to happen, we have to deal with what we call determinants of the problem, which in this case is obvious: water, sanitation, and human behavior.
So the main challenges in the areas that we are looking at is about water and sanitation. We would mention, Professor, that after going on the ground, we note that, for instance, in Busukilo, where now we are fighting hard, we've had water kiosks to a number of about 24, but only 5 are functioning. Only 5 are functioning. And this is part, I would say, from the community who say they can't afford to buy water. Then again, the water utility companies seem not to afford to probably exercise leniency at the moment, to say they can leave it for a period for people to access. Some of the first areas in Kitwe where we had problems, I'm going to summarize, was, I would say, Usakile. We spoke of the same with Usukilo, but there were very few cases and elsewhere. After doing the best that we could, we saw that things were happening on the negative side in Usukilo. So we moved into Usukilo as well, and that's where we are now, trying to do the best that we can.
Still on health news, the Zambia National Building Society, ZNBS, has donated a suction machine to Chitulika Mini Hospital in Pika District. District Commissioner David Siame, who received the equipment on behalf of government, thanked ZNBS for the gesture. More in this report by Peggy Gettinho.
To help promote quality health through health support and infrastructure, the Zambia National Building Society has donated a suction machine, also known as an aspirator, to Chitulika Mini Hospital in Mpika. Receiving the machine, Mpika District Commissioner David Siame commended the society for ensuring that citizens receive quality health care.
The government is under obligation to provide health service, as close to the family as possible. But in doing that, there are also challenges. So when we see our corporate world coming on board to donate such a vital machine, we say, as government, we are very grateful indeed.
ZNBS branch manager Charles Mape says the society has donated the machine to help improve access to quality healthcare services.
This machine plays a critical and crucial role in the reduction of infant mortality for infants and newly born, particularly for those struggling with respiratory issues or require assistance in clearing their airways of blood, saliva or other secretions.
Peggy Gettinho for Zanisi Mpika, Muchinga Province.
Meanwhile, Monga Water Supply and Sanitation Company has launched a comprehensive water project in Mufulira district meant to address the persistent blockage of sewer lines and leakages of water pipes. The project will help improve water supply and sanitation services in the district. Rachel Chisulo brings us this report.
Residents of Mufulira district on the Copperbelt province have long grappled with persistent issues of blocked sewerage lines and leaking water pipes. But relief is on the horizon as Monga Water Supply and Sanitation Company takes proactive steps to address these challenges. The company has launched a comprehensive project aimed at repairing and replacing damaged sewer lines, septic tanks, and water supply pipes, promising improved services for residents. During an inspection by Mufulira Mayor Tanaeli Kamanga, the company's acting manager for Mufulira district provided insights into the project scope, highlighting that works will primarily focus on Kantanshi and Kankoyo constituencies.
We want to replace as much as possible because most of the lines have collapsed, and we just need to replace most of the lines. Other than that, just unblocking is not working at the moment. That's why we, as a company, we decided that we need to replace most of the lines.
Mufulira Mayor Tanaidi Kamanga commended the company's initiative and stressed the importance of community involvement in maintaining infrastructure.
From longer to tick, make sure you have no leakages in your homes. Because with the leakages that you actually leave in your home, say, some may say they haven't had water for a long time, and they have just opted not to even buy things like maybe taps in their homes. We encourage you to start actually fix and make sure your homes are in order.
With the project now underway, residents are optimistic about the prospect of enjoying better services and a higher quality of life.
You have launched this campaign of going around and round, which is, I think I appreciate your work.
This initiative marks a significant step towards resolving long-standing water infrastructure challenges in the district. Rachel Chisulo, Zanis, Mufulira.
The news continues. Minister of Small and Medium Enterprise Development, Elias Mvanga, says government has prioritized the development of micro, small and medium enterprises, MSMEs, in order to grow the economy and for job creation. Mr. Mvanga says this is because MSMEs, which include cooperatives, account for about 90% of businesses, 70% of gross domestic product, and about 88% of employment. He said this at a media breakfast where he announced that the country will hold a national MSMEs and cooperatives Indaba slated for April 10th to 11th, 2024 to be held in Lusaka. And Minister of Small and Medium Enterprise Development Permanent Secretary Subeta Mutelo says the Indaba will create a platform for entrepreneurs to discuss issues affecting them and showcasing their innovative solutions and services.
We looked at these policies, the SME policy and the cooperative policy, and it was launched in December last year. One of the objectives for the policy is obviously to come up with a framework to foster collaboration amongst the stakeholders. This is in inauguration of the fact that one of the factors hindering the growth of MSMEs and cooperatives is lack of collaboration among stakeholders, which simply means the Indaba will now bring about that, lacking space so that we can now enhance collaboration amongst ourselves. And our hope, and this must be done, is to see that the cooperative movement is improved in the country.
This Indaba will feature a conference program which will include exhibitions, business clinics, and panel discussions. This will provide a platform, Honorable Minister, for entrepreneurs to discuss issues affecting them, showcasing their innovative solutions and services, while also offering networking opportunities, knowledge sharing, as well as learning sessions.
Also in the news, Permanent Secretary for Special Duties at Cabinet Office, Patrick Mcheleka, has urged public workers to be proactive as they implement government policies and programs in a bid to turn around the country's economy. Mr. Mcheleka, who is on a tour of Mchinga province, said this during a meeting with civil servants at the provincial administration in Chinsali district.
He is in Mchinga province to appreciate some of the challenges being faced by the private and public sectors in the province. Permanent Secretary for Special Duties at Cabinet Office, Patrick Mcheleka, who has dated Mchinga province on official duty, has taken time to address public and private workers on various economic matters and assured them of these challenges being sorted out.
These challenges we have will be sorted out, and we are doing everything possible to sort out. And why are we doing that? We are doing that by, first of all, as we have demonstrated through physical discipline, get the economy to work, debt restructuring, and of course getting our mining sector to function. Period.
Mr. Mcheleka further commended civil servants in the province for the work they are doing.
Understanding and patience, especially you who are working so hard to serve our people in Mchinga province. And we want to ask you to be ambassadors, to explain some of the things that I've touched on, so that people are told the truth.
His counterpart, Mchinga Province Permanent Secretary Henry Mkongole, and various stakeholders also shared their concerns.
It's important that you understand where we are going, and it should be yourselves that should be able to explain to the people the dynamics through which we are passing.
From Mchinga, since the discovery of gold in Shuangando Mpika, what we are hearing is that that land has been given to a private investor and not to cooperatives and small-scale miners. Because the land, if given to our youths, more than 20 artisan miners can be there. I don't know if you can help us change the approach so that there's the involvement and greater participation of the locals in the way we are going to exploit our minerals.
Miriam Kumwenda, reporting for Zanis in Chinsali, Mchinga Province.
The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources has launched its 2022 to 2026 strategic plan and the 2023 to 2028 service delivery charter. Minister of Lands and Natural Resources Elijah Mchima says the strategic plan will provide a roadmap for service delivery to the public. Audrey Kalenga brings us this report.
Of Lands and Natural Resources has launched a strategic plan for the period 2022 to 2026 aimed at promoting customer satisfaction through transparent land management processes. The ministry has also launched its 2023 to 2028 5-year service delivery charter aimed at defining the functions, obligations and expectations of the ministry towards its stakeholders. Minister of Lands and Natural Resources Elijah Mchima said the document aligns with the government's effort to promote sustainable land management and economic growth through strategic initiative and transparent practices.
Through the service delivery charter, our ministry has committed itself to providing services in a timely, affordable and transparent manner. This charter will also assist my ministry to manage customer expectations. This is because the charter will, one, enhance our clients' awareness of the type of services the ministry provides. Two, explain to our clients the standards of services that they should expect to receive. Three, outline clients' rights and responsibilities. Four, explain our rights and responsibilities as a service provider. And five, explain how our clients can lodge complaints as well as make suggestions about our service.
The Minister of Lands Acting Director Planning Wallace Ngolowe gave an overview on the importance of the two documents.
A credible and innovative system for sustainable land administration and natural resources management. The word credible gives an idea of something that is convincing or believable. You know, sometimes the Minister of Lands has received negative publicity in the press, and we are saying we are a credible institution. You can trust us that we deliver the things that you want. So with this vision, the minister has also identified 3 thematic areas of focus, and these are land administration and management, natural resource management, and institutional capacity and governance. To ensure that the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources performs well in the 3 thematic areas, we have set for ourselves a mission. You know that the mission statement is a justification on why we should continue to exist as a Ministry of Lands.
Vote of thanks, Minister of Lands Commission of Lands Wezi Lukele said the performance of the ministry will be assessed by the successful implementation of the 2 documents.
As a ministry, we have now officially launched the strategic plan and the service delivery charter. These are 2 critical documents that will guide the strategic direction and the performance of the ministry. Going forward, the performance of the ministry will be assessed on the successful implementation of the documents we have just launched.
Audrey Kalenga for Zenith in Lusaka.
The Gender Division Department has handed over various empowerment packages to 3 cooperatives in Chipata District with over 300,000 kwacha. Chipata District Commissioner Eli Dabanda has advised members of the cooperatives not to personalize the donated items. Sylvester Chimba covered the handover ceremony.
Visibly full of joy. These are women from 3 cooperatives in Chipata District that have received empowerment packages from the Gender Division. Chipata District Commissioner Eli Dabanda officiated at the handover ceremony held at our office.
Mala President Hakainde Hichilema through Gender Division yakozotifikira pano yakozotibweresera zinthu izametaona pai poyambazi zichabengati nizosekapo wakuita nani mwalembesa ati aibulani ku training mungu kuti I think batichachani batichate 10-0 apai ko ma 10-0 iyi lelo baone tizacita imachitadi kwaye mwazimai vanga ine nikuti ndinokondwera namwe pamozi koma ivi vintu vamene vabwera si vintu va munthu umozi ni vintu va cooperative ngati muna cooperative yosunga nkhuku mose vamene muli mu Masisi cooperative izi nkhuku ni zanu si nkhuku za chair lady orogwanje koma za mose mwikeko nzeru mose kuti izi nkhuku next time tikandobwera kamuna mzatenga zili 100 kamani 200 nikapeza za chitadabo simuyamba pamene ako kugabana tuzatuma profita tenti one mwameti zasungira maybe for 6 months then zabakako nde pameti yambo kugabana yazimai imwe peanut butter vana lumango ni chanu as a group ichi chintu chingasinthe mioyo yanu ngati imwe mzaikako nzeru yamune peanut butter mkaikako nzeru tuzamboipeza mShoprite muSpar mose mu chain stores chikulu chakukusenzera pamosi imwe mabasi wa car wash washing machine mayuthi mwikeko nzeru ivi vintu ni vanu mayuthi tizamba pwesa mamotoka yatu lomba kuti kukawashi yanu ndeba meti zayambai ine nikuti ziko moti ivi vintu tivisunge bwino mwamene wakambila ba director kuti ivi vintu tizambo pita mokuona asa tipo asunga nkuku lelo zasira mwaleka nosunga nkuku isatizabwera tikaone kuti ndalama ijaya amene wana kugulirani vintu wakugenda vienda branch.
And Gender Division Department Director Gender in Development Henry Nkoma outlines the department's commitment to improve the welfare of women.
Boma inamvesesa niposo inanga na kwene kuona kuti wazimai wakapasidwa wako tumpamvu ama pita pasogolo. Kukalibe program yomveka kuti men economic empowerment. Manaimvera? Koma women economic empowerment. Ni mulando wa kuti boma idziwa kuti mwazimai ndimwe kololo yamba. Ngakaleta zibambo ndimwe mutilera. Kuchoka wabadwa paka ufika pomwe nafika pa. kuti aniona lwa mai wanga uniyangana lero angati mwana wanga site umwana sukuta site chifukwa cha imwe azimai.
Meanwhile, Mary Luhana gave a vote of thanks on behalf of the receiving cooperatives.
Isemoga mwaona zimai pano ndisokondwera maningi makamaka tithokoza a president wathu a president Hakainde Hichilema pobwera kuli ise kuti yankhaza metifuna ise azimai zona tinalembesa hivi koma pa nthawi ino tilinavo batipasa tiyamikire kwambiri mutiyamikireko kuti zita zamene tinalembesa azimai kunja kuvaona mwaka kuti sivichitika koma lero tachitira umboni kuti tatenga nkhuku tatenga mamashini tatenga zonse zosukira mamotoka tikuti zikomo ndipo izi zinthu zane mwaona pano a director va DC vamai bonse vasogoleri tizazisevenzesa bwino mukaendo bwera muzapeza ma peanut butter mukaendo bwera muzapeza nkhuku zilipo makhawa achivanzathu vazamba kusuka motoka na peanut butter odiera kunyumba yonse tizapereka zikomo.
Northern Province Permanent Secretary Bernard Mpundu has called on farmers to secure enough maize for household food security in view of the food shortage in some parts of the country due to drought. Mr. Mpundu said this when he opened the first quarter of the Provincial Development Coordinating Committee, PDCC, in Kasama. Patrick Kawe has filed in this report.
Northern Province is among the areas that is expecting to have a good harvest this season. This is due to the favorable rainfall pattern that the province has received. A Northern Province Permanent Secretary, Bernard Mpundu, who officiated at the first quarter Provincial Development Coordinating Committee, PDCC, in Kasama, is calling on farmers in the province to prioritize household food security as they begin to harvest their crops.
The declaration of the current prolonged drought in many parts of the country as a national disaster. This declaration comes under growing concern over the imminent food crisis. Wherever we are, we encourage our people to store enough food to feed their families.
The Permanent Secretary further called on the heads of government departments to ensure they implement all planned activities within the stipulated time.
We must sit top when it comes to budget absorption. Not in December. That's when you start bringing PS. We have got money, this money will go back. This year, if you don't wait now, I do not want to see you asking me to approve your traveling or doing this in December. Let's work together with all the departments. We ensure that we absorb our budgets within time, not in December.
Speaking earlier, Northern Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Lewis Mwape highlighted the significance of the meeting.
We are here to interface with one another and see how we are progressing as a province in terms of delivering service to our people.
Reporting in Kasama, this is Gladys Nyirenda.
Finally in the news, Western Province Permanent Secretary Simomo Akapelwa says there is need for people to be sensitized on the dangers of poaching. Mr. Akapelwa says risk behaviors such as poaching of wild animals, which are infected with anthrax, subsequently leads to the spread of disease which also affects humans. He was speaking when officers from the Veterinary Department, Breakthrough Action and Ministry of Green Economy and Environment paid a courtesy call on him in Monga. And Provincial Veterinary Officer Stephen Tembo said Breakthrough Action is supporting government's intervention on disseminating information on social behavioral change centered on controlling zoonotic diseases such as anthrax. Meanwhile, Breakthrough Action Risk Communication and Community Engagement Officer Felix Mpundu said the organization has been involved in advocacy programs to equip people with the knowledge of dealing with zoonotic diseases.
Potential for anthrax outbreaks, no rain, people think there's no food, so people do also, even poaching, to us, is dear to our heart. Anthrax, as a disease, is very dangerous because it kills you. You mourn your cattle and then you mourn the people. And so in that respect, it's more dangerous than CBPP, which has killed most of our cattle.
But if we could have this approach, the One Health approach of combating disease through engagement and collaboration of other relevant stakeholders in many of these districts that are affected by these zoonosis, I think it could yield better results.
One Health is being coordinated by Zambia National Public Health Institute, which is a government quasi organization, which is mainly doing with surveillance during outbreaks. So we know that for day-to-day surveillance, Ministry of Health is still doing that, but for outbreaks, the Zambia National Public Health Institute, which is mandated to do that.
As we end the news, a reminder of the top stories. Zambia and Botswana signed 10 bilateral agreements. Professor Chilengi warns of cholera cases upswing. Monga Water launches water project. Plus, gender division empowers Chipata cooperatives. On that note, we end Zanis News. On behalf of the entire Zanis production team, I'm Alice Banda saying goodbye and God bless you.